Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, I'm in here by my Camp Chef oven, and this is all run on propane, and I'm getting ready to bake some bread in it, and I wanted to show you how I use it. I just finally got around to practicing on this. I baked about 3 loaves of bread. This will be my 4th loaf that I'm working on, and so I'm going to show you how this works and how it's different from other types of ovens that you might use. Now, I am glad that I finally took the time to start practicing on this thing. We've had it for like 3 years, I believe, and it was only a couple of weeks ago I finally decided I needed to learn how to use this thing. I figured it would be pretty simple, pretty basic. I mean, you know, propane, anything that starts, you know, you can either light it with a match or it has an igniter like this one does. I've cooked with propane before. It's just not an issue. But when it comes to baking anything in an oven, you never really know until you bake in it just how well it's going to bake and what issues you may have to work around to get your desired results. Now, I do most of my baking when it comes to breads and pies in my toaster oven, which a good part of the year I can run off of solar, but in the winter time it just draws a little bit too much power for me to run it on our solar. And so we got this as a backup if we ever run out of, it's middle of winter and we don't have any solar power. Let's say middle of winter is also when we're most likely to get public power outages, and I want to bake some bread or a pie or rolls or anything that I want to brown on top that I can't really do so well on my wood stove. Now, a chicken I don't have a problem browning on top, putting it in the into the roasting pan, but with breads it's just a different story. So that is why we got this. It was just one of our many backups to our backups, and so I want to show you how it works. And I will also be posting a link to this. I don't know if the red is available anymore, but in the description box below, you'll find a link to this particular, it's the same Camp Chef Camp oven, it's just a different color. All right, on to how it works. You want to make sure when you go to light it that you have your door open. Now this up here, I don't believe needs to be opened. I only opened it so that you could take a look at the top. It's got these nice little propane burners. I've yet to use these, but I'm pretty sure that'll be a piece of cake. But the baking is the different story, and I'll also explain why I have this pan in here. I have this hooked up currently to a propane can below. This can also run off of a cylinder, the little kind that you can take camping. So obviously, because it is a Camp Chef camp oven. So anyway, when you go to start it, you want to press and hold and then slowly turn until it lights. And I got to light the first time. I'm still holding this in just to make sure it's going to stay lit. And now I'm going to slowly release. Anybody who's ever run propane should know it's going to have a blue flame. So that should be pretty obvious. Okay, so now I'm going to shut the door so it can finish heating up. Now, right here is the temperature gauge. The one thing about this type of oven you're going to find is it does not have like a set like your electric ovens are going to have where you can set it at a specific temperature. This is something you're just going to have to watch. Now I'm going to leave this on high to give it so it can heat up quickly. But as I'm baking the bread, I want to bake the bread between 400 and 450. But as it's baking, I still am going to need to keep an eye on it because it will tend to keep getting hotter as it's baking. So I'm going to want to turn it down and turn it down and turn it down and just keep checking it. Now, where I'm located right now, this room, it's a good sized room. It's 1,100 square feet, this room itself, and it's very open. And so we get a lot of airflow through here. However, one of the reasons we set this up, since it's inside in this room, is that there's a sliding glass door right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this door to give us better ventilation. That way we won't have to worry about carbon monoxide and all that kind of stuff. So no concerns there. And as far as this funny looking countertop over here, that's still a video for down the road. you'll see some irregular pieces of wood, and that is because this is the oak countertop Patrick's going to be making for in here, and he's just, right now he's curing the wood, or he's drying it so he can fit it together properly once it's all ready to go. So that's another video for down the road. All right, so I'm gonna let this heat up, and then I will be back when I am ready to put the bread in the oven. So my oven's hot enough now, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick the bread in, and then I'm gonna explain a little bit about this pan. First, I'll show you how nice the bread looks so far. Okay, so now this was one of the tricks I had to figure out in order to get my bread to brown on top, and that was to put the cake pan in there to get it closer, the top of the bread, closer to the top of the oven so the heat can radiate back down onto the bread so that it will brown better on top. Because obviously all your heat is coming from down below, and it's got to heat up the whole oven on the inside, and that puts it really close to the top. Now there is a rack space right here, but it's just simply too close. And if you can look, you see where my finger is. If I was to put the pan up there, I can't even put the pan up there. It wouldn't fit. So what I need to do, my oven's already cooled down quite a bit for me standing here with the door open. But it will heat right back up to 400, and then every few minutes I got to come in here and keep checking it. Now this bread's going to take about half an hour to 45 minutes to cook in here, which I notice is a longer time than what it takes in my toaster oven, at the same temperature. But it works really good. The bread we've been getting out of here has just been really wonderful. I'm very pleased with it. And of course, having a good cast iron bread pan makes a difference. The cast iron bread pans I actually bought in a set of 2 for the best deal on Amazon, and I will link to those below, obviously along with the oven. And so I'm gonna let this bake, and I'll keep checking it. And then when it's all done, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so my bread's done and I'm ready to take it out of the oven. So let's see how it looks. And by the way, this little thermal thing, you want to keep this on here because this handle gets hot. Okay. Look at there. Nice, lovely loaf of bread. And by the way, these little covers, I make these things. I'll be selling some on Etsy, but I also have a how-to video on how you can make your own, but the difference is I made these ones a little bit bigger, so they're 30 stitches around for those of you who are into crocheting and you go watch that video. I'll go ahead and link to it above. So there it is, and we're gonna go ahead and turn this on. And then before I finish up this video, I want to give you a closer look at what the burners look like. So there they are. I thought they look really nice. It's kind of dusty because this thing has been sitting for several years, totally unused. So that's why you'll see the dust, but yeah, real nice looking burners. I don't think I've ever seen propane burners that look quite like that. So eventually I should probably try those burners on the top out and see if they cook any different than any other propane burner I've used. Luna! Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and just to give you some more ideas on how you can have a backup source for cooking and baking, because this will do both. I think it's a really neat unit and I'm very happy with it. Again, this top piece folds down, and you can even get a case for it if it's something you're going to take camping to give it more protection. Oh yes, and if you're interested in my bread recipe, this is just my basic yeast bread recipe that I use seeds and some whole wheat flour in. I'll go ahead and link to that in the iCards up here as well. Again, just a basic recipe. I use that for pizza dough, loaf bread, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.